A1.
A2.
A3.
A4.
All right.
That's beautiful. This is Mona Lisa Baseball.
We got the full panel here. We got A1 through A4. A3, welcome back to the show.
Great to be here. Thank you.
And we have A4 here as well, a.k.a. Bruce Bochy.
Please no.
No, pleasure to be here, guys. Thank you.
All right, let's talk some baseball.
Right.
Baseball? You guys want to talk about baseball?
Yeah, I heard it was a sport played by 9 people against 9 people.
Look, I remember that game. That was that one game where the pitcher guy would pitch to the batter guy, and then the pitcher guy's team would have like 7 guys behind him playing defense wherever they wanted. And then they would take as long as they needed to make 3 outs, and then the pitcher guy's team would swap with the batter guy's team, and then the pitcher guy would even hit. Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, I remember that game. So you guys want to talk baseball?
Yeah, talk.
Are you talking about baseball, or are you talking about hardball, which is today's baseball?
American hardball.
Because I don't even call it baseball anymore, A1. It's something completely different.
You're talking about the MLB.
Right.
Yes. The death of baseball to me was, 1, universal DH. Once you hit that point, bye-bye. It's something different.
It's
right?
off the cliff.
I mean, then you got other things. You got, the bigger bases and the shift ban, and then, the pitch clock and all that stuff, right? Those also contributed to the final nails in the coffin for me. But my stance is that it's like, once the universal DH hit, it's like, it's over. It's not going backwards from there. It's like, we might as well just blow it up. Let's see how far we can get. You know what I mean? So when you ask me that question, it's like, would I fight for it or something? It's like, it's lost. It's not coming back. So my stance is just like, yeah, bring it on. Bring on the robots. Bring on, yes, let's get it right. Like, let's just turn this into something completely different. And then maybe one day when baseball is... the only way to get baseball back is to become so far removed from it so that we begin to miss it and play it out of nostalgia.
God.
It's the only way.
Man, this is gold.
We're like the first people missing it, the first people mourning it, right?
Correct.
I mean, in season 1, A1 did predict that the universal DH would lead to just a landslide, a mudslide of rule changes, and he was right.
It's way worse than I was even giving it credit for.
The floodgates are open. Pandora's box is open. It doesn't matter anymore. Paint a circle on the ground. Tell the defense where they need to play.
Yep.
Put another guy in the lineup. It doesn't matter anymore.
It's not baseball.
I agree.
It's not baseball anymore. We're talking about something else. So
might as well have fun with it at this point.
Because
it's a rowdy take.
Otherwise, we're just old farts talking about how it used to be. And you know what? And that's great. But it's like, it's not going to do anything. The way that it's trending, it's okay. So I actually made a list. This is kind of like,
hell yeah.
I already talked about like what the death of baseball was, right? But instead of talking about baseball, let's talk about American hardball. Let's talk about the future. What is the future of hardball going to look like?
Robots everywhere.
And I know we've talked about this a little bit, right? But I wanted to throw out some more ideas, and maybe we can entertain the idea of looking a little bit deeper into the future, and then a lot deeper into the future.
The future.
In the year 2000. In the year 2000.
Well done.
The first one, and I'll kind of go in chronological order here in years into the future. So first off, we're talking about next year, this season, the ABS system, right? Where automated balls and strikes, right? That's the ABS system.
Trackman, yes.
The Hawkeye tracking system that's installed in every major league ballpark. A computer program determines whether a pitch is a ball or a strike, and that information is relayed to a home plate umpire who wears an earpiece into which a computer-generated voice tells him the call.
All right, they've been doing this for a while in the minors,
So 2023 will be the first season where the ump is wearing an earpiece. And so I guess I was wrong.
Where they're all wearing the earpiece.
All wearing an
earpiece.
earpiece.
They've been testing this for years now. Yeah.
So the point of that is that we don't lose the aesthetic of the umpire. Like, why do they have an umpire at all? Why don't they just put it up on the scoreboard?
He still has responsibilities. He still calls people safe at home plate. He still enforces like this pitch clock stuff. It's not like that's the only thing an umpire does, but it is probably the biggest thing he does. I mean, we all agree on that. An umpire not calling balls and strikes, like that's ridiculous. But that's where we're at.
He's kind of like a conductor that doesn't have to wave his arms that much, just kind of every now and then.
Totally.
He's there for the humanity, A1. He's there to, ring people up, after he hears in his ear that it's okay to do so.
Like go up and shake his hand when the leadoff guy comes up, and it's like, oh, such a great guy. Doesn't do shit. But,
the counter argument to this just happened. We had an umpire like call 3 really bad strikes in a row just because he wanted the game to end, and it's on video and they suspended the guy. He's not going to ump again.
Okay, so that was number one, just the ABS with the earpiece system.
Yep.
We're going to see that
to the majors.
soon.
Do you think that's coming next year to the majors or like in the next 3-4 years?
I would say 1 to 3 years.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with anyone's prediction on that. It could drop in the middle of the season. They actually wrote a rule into the thing where they can do that.
Right. And I think along those same lines is fans will also be able to have that same earpiece and but hear the same tone, or at least have a visual. And they already have that on, when they
game day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I think that's going to be up on the big screen for everyone to see in the ballpark. Oh. That's going to be right there.
Sounds horrible.
You're crystal balling me.
It's coming. It's coming.
In real life, you can't see the box, so we put it on the giant TV that we put in center field.
All right, now here's another one that I think is really going to ruffle some feathers, but it could. We're talking 10-year future right now.
Okay.
Universal ballpark dimensions.
Oh God!
I mean, what is this? 1984?
This is hurting me. You're hurting me.
I think it's going to happen because if we're going with the strike zone's got to be the same for every time you go. Well, now the ball. I think we're just trending in that direction.
Oh no!
God, that's rough.
No more baseball at Fenway. Or are they going to be grandfathered in?
No, raise it.
Is this all just new ballparks?
Every time a new ballpark is built, MLB is going to be like, no, it has to be.
It has to be done.
388 in right.
Yeah.
388 in left.
Well, isn't it just an arms race for the owners to bring the fences closer and closer so that they can sign sluggers who can get bigger numbers? Isn't that where we're at now?
Oh, we've been there a long time.
So maybe standardization would actually be a step on. I can't believe I just said that.
Well, speaking of the fans, I think with these universal ballpark dimensions, there's going to be a gap between the home run line and the next row of fans where there can eliminate fan interference.
Mm-hmm. Even for people that are holding babies.
No, especially for the people holding babies.
Single them out.
This sounds super fun. This is like a really fun game to watch.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, keep going, man. I can't wait.
Well, it pains me to say it, but that's the way I think it's trending.
Yeah. What year are we at?
Okay, that's 10 years. Please keep going.
Yeah, I think that's
Okay. All right. I'm visualizing
maybe that's around year 10.
I got to interject on the universal dimensions because you're really poking holes in a thought that I had, which was imagine a golf tournament, how Friday, Saturday, and Sunday have different pin placements.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What if every stadium, instead of going universal, every stadium had like 3 rotational dimensions that they could use in a game or per day?
That's tech.
And I mean, we got retractable roofs. You mean to tell me they can't move a freaking fence? I'm not buying it.
And some seats.
And I don't know, like maybe it would be more fun if you went to a stadium and then on Friday it was a different dimension from Sunday.
This is amazing.
Bro, why don't they just bring him in between innings when the home team's up?
See, now we're talking. Now we can start getting some guys hitting bombs. We get 100 homers a year, video game style.
For the home team, better ticket sales. Yeah.
This one, okay, I might have to reverse a little bit. This one might be year 5. Remember that slow motion replay where we're trying to figure out if the ball is going to be fair or foul, and we're looking in slow motion, and all of a sudden it hits just barely on the chalk, and the chalk just puffs up a little bit. It's a fair ball because the chalk came up, right? I think we'll never see that again because it's going to be a tracking system, you know?
No more chalk, dude. Yeah, no more. It's going to be a sensor.
Yeah.
These knife hits.
Just be like a tennis court.
I can't weather too many more.
Yeah.
Right? I'm sorry, dude. You guys started this thing.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to get real.
It's our fault.
Okay, so no more chalk dust lifting up in the air. I think that's gone in about 5 to 10 years.
Groundskeepers have less work to do now.
Yeah, good for them.
All right, now I got some stuff that's really going to tear you guys up.
Oh, boy.
Okay, how's this one? Batter out after third foul ball.
Oh.
Hey, we got to speed the game up, huh?
It would. Yeah. It'd crank it up.
Don't they do that in T-ball?
It's like, all right, Johnny, sit down.
Okay.
You're out.
Them's the rules.
What do you guys think of that? I mean, is that just completely absurd or what?
It's literally T-ball rules in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, but your list is right on par with your mindset, which is, and I thought it was a little absurd when I first heard it, but I think you might be onto something. Like, what's the point of trying to, like, we should just steer into the skid now, and this is what it's called. So let's just
We're drifting.
let's just Tokyo drift this thing right off a cliff and then call it a day.
Yeah, it's drama.
So it's 3-2-2.
That's must see TV. You start with
Yeah,
a
it's like-
1-1 count, and then it goes full, and it's like, oh, this guy better beat the clock, and he better hit it fair. My goodness.
Yeah.
Just put it in play, man.
And now you've taken one of the greatest things in the game out of the game once again, which is like a crazy long at bat where the pitcher's sweating. If you ask what's the greatest at bat of all time, someone's going to say one of these 17 pitch, like to win a game things, and that'll never happen again. So thanks a lot.
Reggie Jackson, that's a good one.
Side note, do you guys know who has set the record for most foul balls? In a single at bat. They've been keeping this stat since 1988.
Okay.
Tony Gwynn.
No.
Matt Williams.
Brett Butler?
Marvin Bernard.
Gosh, the last name starts with a B. You guys have both given me some B's. Brandon Belt hit 16 foul balls in the first inning battle against Jaime Barria that ended in a fly ball to right field. Belt's 21 pitch at bat is the longest on record since 1988, as far back as the data is available.
Oh.
He's no longer a Giant, you guys.
Yeah. Man.
Where'd he go? Toronto.
He's a Blue Jay. Went up north.
He's held down first base for a long time.
You know what I hope happens? I hope he hits 40. That would be so great.
Yeah, I'd take it.
It's like, oh yeah, he needs to change his mindset.
Alternate.
He'll probably break another finger though.
Well, yeah.
All right. Couple more here.
Time machine. Oh my God, there is more.
Yeah, couple more. Okay, now we're probably...
How far in the future are we now?
Yeah, I want to say the third foul ball thing, 20 years in the future.
Okay, 20 years. All right.
Okay,
So
now...
2043. That's where we're at right now.
All right, I'm going to go right around that same 2043 year season. They made this next rule also, which is a hit batsman is now a minimum of 2 bases, not 1. And if you hit him in the head, it's a home run. It's like 4. It's an automatic run.
Oh, if he dies, it's a grand slam?
Ooh.
That one's gnarly. You take out the brushback pitch.
Right. But we got to protect our players.
Oh, yeah.
Effectively. Wow.
You got to...
Man.
So you hit him anywhere.
You're corrupt, man.
It's a 2-bagger. And if someone's on second, obviously that's an RBI. Right. But here's the thing. It brings in flopping because now it's like, hey, whoa, okay. So, and this is a really interesting part that I was thinking about. It's like, well, who decides if the guy leaned into it or not?
Mm-hmm.
A robot can't do that. Maybe that's the last piece of the umpire's human element that he's able to maintain is to differentiate between flopping and not flopping.
Oh my, and they can't. I mean, professional sports is so full of flopping. Whenever it's available to players, they do it, right? Because it's a winning strategy. You're talking about flopping in baseball?
Yes.
It makes me want to kill myself.
What's the body armor situation in 2043?
Well, wait, hold on. When do the cybernetic implants get in? Like, when does the guy step up to plate with robot arms? Okay, robot legs, robot eyes. When does that come in?
Robot eyes.
We often have this conversation about like umpires wearing Google Glass or whatever. Okay, but no one out there, I haven't heard anyone say that people shouldn't be getting LASIK so that they can see better.
Right.
Right. So what if there's a new version of LASIK, which is like digitally augmented AR stuff, right? I mean, it seems like the same thing to me, kind of. It seems like the same argument. We can maintain the humanity if we give umpires better and better tools. But when you just have a computer program calling balls and strikes, I mean, there's no humanity in that. So, I mean, that's why I historically have been advocating for stuff like wearing Google Glass, things like that, allowing the umpire to have a better, sharper sight, be able to see something twice even if he needs to.
All right, this one's okay. We're talking 50 years into the future now.
Some of us might still be alive.
Maybe.
We might see this. Who knows?
Maybe.
Look, we all like the big play, right? The 3-point line, the big shots. Okay,
the grand slam.
Look, you guys have played skee ball, right? You guys have played skee ball.
Skee ball, yep. I know where you're going with this.
So like, if you get in the 20, that's not really good. It's kind of like a short home run, right? If you get in the 30, it's like, middle to 40 is better. But if you get that 50 burger up there in the corners, like you get 50 points. What I'm going with is, and I'm going to call it the skee ball home run.
Okay.
All right.
So if you basically hit a home run into zone 1, no extra points, right? If you hit a home run 410 feet or 420 feet into zone 2, that's an extra run. Like that's a 2-run home run, even if it's just a solo deal.
A bonus pop, yeah.
And then if you really crush one into zone 3, I mean, that's 3 runs right there.
Three runs. You can get 3. What if you hit the mitt, or like the Coke bottle?
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you got bases loaded and you hit a zone 3 homer, that's 7 runs.
Well, I mean, why is it 2 points for an extra long home run? That seems too much. Let's go 1.5 points. Let's do that. Let's introduce the decimal point into points in baseball. I think that would be really good for
that
the
works
sport.
the gambling angle.
Oh yeah, the over under, huh?
Yeah, so it's like 1.1 runs.
Changing it from runs to points is tearing me up so bad.
Right, and then you just move the decimal point. So now,
For sure, I was kind of even saying points that like I had to say points and not.
yeah, and the Dodgers beat the Giants 395 to 472.
Right.
So dumb.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating, rewarding the style of the home run.
I mean, style, I would just say distance. That's what I'm coming down
We're
to.
talking about baseball becoming the home run derby, right? Slowly inching closer and closer to that over time. What would that look like? It's exactly what you're describing. Exactly.
Take like a guy like, say, Manny Ramirez when he was in his prime and he was dropping long bombs. If he would hit one of that extra point length, he would have the body language to kind of like showboat or bat flip, whatever it may be. That would be the art in it, where I understand the point system is like if in certain zones, points,
right? Of course, those would be the sought out players, like the big sluggers, the crushers. The farther you crush, the better contracts you're going to get.
That's the Sizzle reel at ESPN Sports Center. Did you guys hear about the game? So he hit a 20-point homer, and he did a sick jig.
Yeah.
Who was on fifth base?
God. A4, what about standardizing innings in that you can only score 20 points an inning?
Softball rule.
I don't think the MLB would want to put a run limit because
but it'll
they
speed
want
it
to
up,
run that
though.
shit up.
You get more walk-off moments then.
A 10-point inning isn't going to be that far-fetched, in 50 years in the future, especially with zone 3 dingers that are going to give you 7 points.
Right. Yeah. Don't forget the robot arms, you guys.
Yeah, crushed by a cyborg.
Right. He's got computer tracking software in his eyeball, okay?
Look, it's a Wednesday night. It's a 7:05 start. This game's got to be done by 9:30. So how are we going to make that happen?
Yeah, I brought my baby. He's asleep. He didn't make it. We got to go home. Let's wrap this up.
I got to tell you that I've watched more spring training or listened to more spring training, kind of hoping for this to fail.
Oh.
In a weird way. But
how's it going?
Well, it's funny because the time thing is such a big deal to a lot of people in baseball. And you guys even brought it up that there are other podcasts or just opinions where this is all good for baseball. And I agree. I think A1 mentioned the idea of being blackballed, but I just keep kind of going back to that idea, and I really like the poignancy of it. Is 30 minutes really going to get that many ball fans? And for someone that was a baseball fan, I never even really thought of it as too long anyway. So it's an interesting angle to just kind of have to watch and have it be so in your eyes and in your ears all the time with this clock. It's been interesting.
A2, you're sticking by your statement that the clocks are humongous?
They have clocks that stretch from dirt to net. They're the size of the wall. They are digital.
Yeah, can confirm that is the case.
Right.
So when you're watching a broadcast, you can see it in the TV picture.
It's right in there. So it's in every frame of a game, basically.
Made for TV. Okay, 2050.
All right.
These guys already have robot arms. They're just going to put a pitching machine there. Because, the Tommy John, that got out of control. So they got the robot arms. And then eventually all guys were throwing the same. And then turns out they're throwing too fast and we weren't getting enough home runs. So we're just going to put the pitching machine out there. It's fine.
Man, this is
wow.
right.
Well, who's dropping the ball in the machine?
Oh, the DH. And then fans are going to vote on Twitter which pitch to throw, and then that's going to be the pitch that comes out of the robot.
An engaged fan base.
Yeah. Engage
That's
the fans.
awesome.
Like a reality TV show.
So,
Have people vote.
fans are on their phones and they're doing live voting.
Yeah, exactly. They're like breaking ball. And I'm sure that would be so much smarter than Romo's epic final World Series.
Okay, you told me you had news. He signed with the Giants. What does that mean?
Yeah.
He did sign with the Giants, but I don't know for how long.
As a pitcher or as a coach?
No, it's just it's a way to retire. You know how they're in other sports to do like 1-day contracts, but
Yeah.
the caveat with this one, which is way killer, is he is going to pitch in a spring training game. What I read is that they're definitely going to throw him when they do the Bay Bridge series, the last exhibition series.
Wow. Okay.
And so he can throw in San Francisco one last time, and then I think that's it.
That's rad.
That's pretty cool.
Oh my God. I want to be there.
With some of these new rules, I was watching something and it was talking about Max Scherzer and how he was adapting to the pitch clock and stuff. And another rule that's new this season is that a batter can only call timeout one time. So Scherzer was saying how he waits to the end of the pitch clock sometimes to throw his pitch, and the batter's got to call a timeout because he's flustered. But knowing that he can't call another timeout,
Right.
he is in complete control of the at bat now, and it's kind of like advantage.
Well, he's a gamer.
Pitcher
He's a gamer
in that situation, right? But
the batters will figure it out, though. I mean, the batter's got 8 seconds to step in and make eye contact with the pitcher, or he's got an automatic strike.
Yeah,
right?
he's got to be ready at 8 seconds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's after the previous.
Yeah.
pitch.
When's the clock start? When the pitcher catches the ball?
Yeah. The pitcher's not going to throw the ball until the batter's looking at him.
No, because they just have to be in the box. There doesn't have to be eye contact.
No, they have to be looking forward. They can't be looking down.
This
they
is
can't
juicy.
They can't be looking down. They have to be looking at the pitcher at 8 seconds, or it's an automatic
What an
strike.
opera.
Yeah, A2's on this one. That's how they were trying to govern it, so that way there's a consequence for the hitter as well as the pitcher for not being fast enough or ready.
Right, because then now the pitcher can begin his motion, and he's got a clock now, and he has to let it go by the 15, right, or the 20, depending if someone's on base. You get 20 seconds if somebody's on base. You get 15 if there's nobody on base.
Yeah, and hopefully you're only down by 10 points.
Well, you can just hit a couple of 5-pointers, and then you're good.
Such a short zone 3 on this field.
Zone 3 dinger.
Yeah. You hit it 340, you got zone 3.
Yeah.
That's kind of a good call, though. If you hit the foul pole, that's a zone 4.
Sure. Why not? And it should light up, too. Just light up like fireworks shooting out.
Automatic 10 if you hit the foul pole.
Yeah. Automatic.
10 points. Boom.
Oh, boy.
They should have a little hoop, out in the back, deep, just dead center.
It's getting pretty specific. In a hoop.
450. If it goes in, and that's a super duper home run, and that should be 10 points.
Can we expand the inbounds range for monster just foul home runs? Because those are fun. They should be worth something.
That's a great call.
Half a point.
I like that. Holy shnikes.
Yeah, just curve the fair area up, flange it up and out. So the longer you hit it, the more chance it has of being called fair.
That's
because we want to see our sluggers perform, you guys, right?
I think that's the best thing I've heard in a very long time.
Why has he got to hit it straight?
That's intriguing.
Instead of a foul pull, it's like a foul bendy straw.
If you just so happen to hit a ball just foul, but it also just so happens to go 450, it somehow becomes fair.
Yeah, because it was cool.
Let's do some zone points and foul territory behind you.
Right.
Cricket style. And then now everything's in play.
Yeah.
This game was invented by Americans and Americans only.
Yeah, but it was invented by kids playing the street that knew they didn't want to break any windows. So it's hey, we're going to hit the ball this way down the street.
That's a good call.
That's the best part of the Sandlot kind of games that you've talked about for sure. How many times have you played wiffle ball and you're if you hit the car, you're out? It's yeah.
Exactly.
That's
the car is
fair.
always out.
It's great when the person says it's not fair.
And tires are out too. I don't want to hear it.
That's part of the car.
Hit the tire,
Tires.
you're out.
Yeah.
Stickler for the rules. I don't know what to tell you.
What, you want us to come out here and chalk the street? No. It's from me to the fire hydrant over there to John's glove, okay?
And if you hit the Camaro, inning over.
We used to play with a rag ball on the street. A4 remembers this, with a rag ball. And we had just one neighbor who was like, you kids, you can't be playing anywhere near my car. And I'm like, here, it's a rag ball. It's like, I couldn't hurt your car with this if I tried. He wasn't having it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be having it either if I liked my car.
I know. As a kid, I thought he was completely ridiculous. It's literally like a soft rag ball, you know?
Right.
Anyway.
I had an old guy try to convince me that he said, let me hold your ball there. I said, no, we're not playing with the real ball. It's just a wiffle ball. We're in a campsite and it hit his trailer. And so I hand him the ball and he goes, so you're telling me if I throw this as hard as I can right now at that window, it wouldn't break? And I was like, well, I don't necessarily think that's a good idea, but it's just a wiffle ball. And he's like, nope, you can't play. You're out.
No.
That's a hard stance.
He took the ball and went home.
Remember, you're camping, so windows are at a premium.
Oh, poor son of a bitch.
Yeah, your life's pretty tattered if that's your angle.
Well, he was old.
Don't break my window.
We were definitely the mangy kids trying to have fun in a campsite with a wiffle ball.
How dare you?
Over the line.
I played my good amount of backyard baseball in some friends' houses, and I got to say, like, each friend had their own version with their own kind of rules and their own ballpark dimensions. But, a wiffle ball wasn't even, necessary. One of my buddies, their thing was tennis balls and metal bats. It's like, no, we're going tennis balls, metal bats.
If you have a big field, hell yeah.
That's what we do here.
Baller.
And, in the backyard, it was not like it was like a big backyard. It was just like a cookie cutter rectangle guy on the street. You know what I mean? So like left field was super short. But when you connect with one of the metal bat, I mean, it's way over the left field fence. Like
feels good.
4 yards deep. That was good times.
The WBC, the World Baseball Classic, is not playing this year with the pitch clock. They did not ban the shift.
Oh.
But for the most part, they are following the MLB, and then probably, I don't know if they're going to do it next year, but
so far
they did adopt UDH. I think they actually did that a long time ago. So, Yep.
So people are following. That much is clear.
Well, we all know that the other leagues are going to. Little leaguers are right now being asked, Johnny, do you want to pitch or hit today? It's happening already. Damage is done, man. We're living in a dystopian future reality, much like A4's list described, only it's just the beginning.
Man, that was a wild ride.
There's a lot of stuff happening real quick, and I gotta say, you guys are on it. Like there is something going on that needs to be talked about, because this is a interesting time in the history of this game, and it's definitely changing, and I don't see it coming back.
Hope I live to be old.
You guys feel me on that?
Oh, I'm so glad that you just brought that up.
Is that just completely absurd or what?
I knew that information and then I forgot it.
Yeah, let's just Tokyo drift this thing right off a cliff and then call it a day.
The future.
The only way to get baseball back is to become so far removed from it so that we begin to miss it and play it out of nostalgia.